Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another stream by myself, Rigby. This is round 11 of SRL Season 2, and we're now in the F1. If you've just joined us, following that unbelievable battle for the lead from F2, I hope that the race is just as exciting as that one, and I've got no doubt that it will be. Bear with me 2 seconds. So very quickly, the reserve drivers for today, we have IP in the Mercedes, we have Witcher in the Ferrari, and we have WLBDK in the Red Bull. So good to see Witcher back in action once again. I don't know how he's going to have the stamina to do another race after the previous one. But fair play to him, and fair play to all the drivers, as we have a rainy qualifying, which is interesting. Don't normally see qualifying in the rain, as we put all this stuff on very quickly. Very quickly, in terms of the race standings here, Too Late Mate has got a very commanding lead at the top of the Drivers' Championship, with Carcraft and Yari battling out for P2 by the looks of things, and the Alfa Romeos are absolutely run away with it in the Constructors as well. But it was good to see El Trucker getting his first win in F1 last week. Harry Collins as well got himself a very good P2 along with Faddy's P3, and Max of course back to his best, getting into P4 as well. So plenty of good drivers around to cause an upset if you like, and of course wet weather always throws form out of the window. Yep. I do apologise for the notifications. So F1 is, of course, out on the intermediates, of course, because it's wet weather. No one's going to be daft enough to go on dry tyres just yet. It would just be like driving on an ice rink, pretty much. As we're on board with Faddy in the Red Bull. See if anyone else has started their lap yet. Chopper Harris is starting their lap. Too Late Mate, just a little bit behind at the moment. Faddy, I mean. So we'll stay on board with him for now. These curbs are even more deadly in the rain. We saw from previous races this weekend already how deadly these curbs can be. So it's important. You can't stay away from them as much as you'd love to. You can't stay away from all of them. Sometimes you do have to ride them, as these ones. Oh, it's Faddy almost losing the car, but does not invalidate his lap time, which is good to see. As Faddy looks for where the traction is, where the best places to brake are, and stuff like that. As all goes very sliding on the start-finish straight, and his first lap time is going to be a 1:28. Harry Colley is going to follow him, and he is going to set a 1:27.6. So he's now on provisional pole. Gino Winnie has invalidated his lap time. MED Vision will come across the line. He's on provisional pole at a 1:27.4. Too Late Mate is now on pole position, as I try and catch up where everyone else is. Maverick K's done a 1:27 126.6. Bob Sadder is going to come around the final corner, see what time he's going to second. He challenged Too Late Mates 126.9 so far. It's a 127.6 for the Renault driver. As El Choco comes across the line, our race winner from last week, it's a 127.4 for him. Meanwhile, the racing point of learning the wheel, it's a one. Did he set a lap time? I don't think actually he did set a lap time. As Max has had a very nervy moment in that final corner. So easy to do. It's a 143.9 for Max. He'll definitely be improving on that. As Witcher comes down the final corner. He does a 127.8. He's into... And he's into P8. Pretty much. Faddy comes across the line. And it's not going to be a quicker lap for him. Meanwhile, Harry Colley across the line again. It's a 130.6. So all the drivers that decided to stay out and do another lap on their tyres are just not able to go quicker by the looks of things at the moment. But we're on board with Max. We'll check back with him in a minute. Penna's on an in-lap. And meanwhile, learning the wheel, not set a lap time yet. Bob Sadder getting out of the way of the racing point. And learning the wheel, he is going to set his lap time. As Carcraft goes provisional pole for 126.8 from the Williams. Very good lap from him. As learning the wheel goes P3, 127.3 for him. Very good lap from him. Meanwhile, Max. Ooh. I don't think he was going to go in the pits, but he is now as he almost loses the car. Meanwhile, we will... Well, I wonder if Harry Colley is just going to jump into the pits, or is he going to set this lap time? He's already done 2 laps on the intermediates, but I think he's going to improve, so he is actually going to set this lap time, Harry in the McLaren. And Harry Colley will set a 126.0 pole. What a lap. Meanwhile, Mavs UK currently in P9. I think he's going to jump into the pits. He's not going to improve on his time anyway. Then the wheel jumping into the pit, as is El Trucker. A couple of the cars coming onto the track for their second run at qualifying. See if we can find anyone to spectate at the moment. We'll stay on board with the Williams of Chopper Harris. I think actually he's going to go on an in-lap, so we will check back with him later. But yeah, looks like we've got a couple of drivers missing today. Of course, Penna standing in for Yari, who's not available this weekend. Of course, Scotty Fennell in the McLaren, he's not here as well that I can notice. And I think there's another 1 or 2 that's not here, but I can't remember their names because I'm an idiot. As Chopper Harris is going to go faster. It's currently P13. And it is going to be a 127.4 from Chopper Harris in the Williams. He's on to P6. As Magic A having a moment in the pit lane. Madness. Gotta be really careful. A couple of drivers on their outlaps. Sten hasn't set a lap time yet in the Ferrari. Meanwhile, Too Late Mate, our runaway leader in the Drivers' Championships. We know he won't let off. He's a very quick driver. Too late, mate. So many times in F1 we've seen him pull out laps that I could only dream of setting myself. He always seems to know where the best racing line is to get the most out of the car. It looks like he's doing just that. He's gone purple for the first 2 sectors. He's looking on point to take provisional pole off the McLaren of Harry Colley, potentially, as Urgel. And with about just less than 8 minutes left of qualifying to go, Too Late Mate comes across the line, and it is provisional pole. It's a 1:26.3. As we'll stay on board with Bob Satter, currently in P9 in the Renault. Comes round the final corner. Doesn't look like this rain's going to let off either, so it looks like it is going to be wet weather tyres for the rest of qualifying. And Bob Satter is in P10 with that time. Meanwhile, Max, coming around the second to last corner, seems to be having a much better time of it than his previous runs. Keeping it nice and tight. It's not a bad lap this from Max. It's a very good lap from Max. It's a 1:26.2. He's on provisional pole. Meanwhile, next to cross the line is going to be a Witcher. Doesn't keep it quite as tight as Max did. So it's still going to be a decent lap. Those are 1:27.2. And meanwhile, the car on the side of the track. Looks like Visions comes up into P3 with that, 1:26.4. Harry Colley just started his lap. Gima Winnie is going to come across the line, 1:27.4, puts him into P10. Meanwhile, Too Late Mate puts his car back onto provisional pole. He's into the 1:25s for 1:25.9. Can his teammate MBD Vision take pole position off his teammate, although it looks like he's going to have another run after this one. A lot of cars going off track at the moment. Oh, Witcher! Woof, oh goodness me! Having a little bit of a moment there, but I don't think he's hit his front wing, he's hit his tyre if anything. Meanwhile, El Trocker has got traffic up ahead, and Witcher, oh, that's cost El Trocker time, that. Witcher was desperately trying to find the grip, I think, and he just didn't see El Trocker coming, and that will cost him a bit of time. How much time we're about to find out. As El Trocker comes round the final corner. What time's he going to take? It's best to 1:27.4. It's now a 1:26.7. He's up to P5. That Vision has invalidated his lap time, so that will not count. Meanwhile, Jimmy Winnie starts his lap. With 5 minutes to go now of qualifying. Too Late Mate is on provisional pole at the moment with that 1:25.9. There's going to have to be one hell of an improvement if someone wants to take that pole position off him. Closest to him is Max at the moment, who is in the pit to put on a new set of intermediate tyres. Jima Winnie unfortunately runs wide and invalidates his lap time. We'll jump on board with his teammate of Faddy, who now also invalidates his lap time. So we will jump on board with El Trocker, who I don't think is actually setting a lap time. So we'll jump on board with MBD Vision instead, who is gone purple in Sector 2. So let's see how much of an improvement he's going to do. He's a bit all over the place there, but keeps the car relatively straight. Comes round the final corner. Needs to be careful. Ooh, needs to be careful. Doesn't put it too close to the barrier and lose it, but he didn't. And it's at 1:26.087. He's on P2. It's an Alfa Romeo 1-2 at the moment. Although plenty of time for someone to get in between those two or even put their car on pole position. As MD Vision's going to go again straight away. And he has gone quicker in that first sector. He took 3/10 off his previous sector one time. So we'll stay on board with Vision. See what kind of lap he can do. There's a shell flags everywhere, and oh, that's the end of him. That's the end of his attempt there. He should have time to jump into the pits and go again. A lot of drivers cutting the corners to try and get back to the pits quicker. Very naughty tactic, you could say, but the game allows it, so what can you do? When you've got to get back to that pit to set a better time, you've got to do what you got to do, to be fair. As we'll stay on board with Chopper Harris as he enters the final sector of his lap, just coming up. Welcome to the stream, David. I believe is that Deepova. Going to enjoy this one. I hope you do, mate. Let us know who you are supporting. Let us know if you are Deepova. Oh. As Chopper Harris comes around the final corner. He's currently in P13. He's going to improve, but by how much? Oh, he's not going to improve enough at all. It's too late, mate. Is about to start his lap. We'll stay on board with Max, I think. Is he? No, the Renault's the next to crossline. I don't know if they're on out laps. As Chopper Harris has just retired from the session. Bob Sada has just invalidated his lap time. David, easier for you there. Nice one, mate. I will call you David, lad. As Max might have given up on his of setting a lap here, I think. A lot of action happening here at the moment. We'll stay on board with Carcraft, who's in his final sector of his lap, currently in P7. He's given us some good results and some good performances this season. Can never count Carcraft out. Currently in P2 in the Drivers' Championship as well. So he'll want to take the opportunity of Yari not being here to pull away at P2. And he's going to set a 126.4, and that's good enough for P4. Meanwhile, Sten, 138, that's not going to be quick enough. Richie is invalidated his lap time. Jima Winnie's just about to start his lap. And meanwhile, Penna is also about to start a lap. As we have 30 seconds left of qualifying. Too late, mate. Our provisional pole sitter coming round the final corner. And it's a 125.9. He doesn't quite improve on his provisional pole time, but he gets very close to it, to be fair. So with 10 seconds left to go, El Choco will make it across the line, maybe, will he? To do another lap? No, he's going to miss it by a second or two. Oh, he's binned it. Unlucky El Choco. Meanwhile, Harry Cully will come across the line for his final lap. And he will get a 125.9, he's up to P2. Very good lap from him. And meanwhile, Faddy comes across the line. He's up to P7. Who's next across the line? It's Lennon the Wheel. He's P6, 126.4. Meanwhile, Carcraft is next, currently in P5. What can he do? Comes across the line, it's a 126.2, he stays in P5. There's a Ferrari across the line, it's Sten, and he's gone on to provisional pole to 125.6, what a lap! Witchy comes across the line to 127.1, he's on to P10 at the moment. Meanwhile, Gmo Winnie, that's the end of his qualifying. And meanwhile, too late, mate. He's into the pit, so he's not going to get provisional pole this time out. Penn is also going to just jump into the pits. Is anyone still out to do a lap, or is that us done? I believe that is us finished for qualifying. And out of nowhere, the Ferrari of Sten takes pole position for Hungary. What a lap from Sten. That is absolutely sensational. Very impressive stuff. 125.6. Too Late Mate put in a good show once again. He gets P2, that's 125.9. Carcraft Trucker. Carcroft Trucker, I should say. Harry Cully also did really well as well in qualifying. He splits the Alfa Romeos and takes P3. And the division joins him on the second row. That's enough writing for that. Max Jung and Carcraft are on the third row. Learn the Wheel, Faddy on the fourth. Rounding off the top 10, we'll have El Trucker and Witchy. P11 is Penna, P12 Gima Winnie. On the 7th row, we'll have Chopper Harris and Federico Sami. The 8th row, we'll have Maju K and Bob Sada. Wow, what a qualifying. You always get that one driver that just pulls it out of the bag, and Sten has shown his pace in previous weeks, and that's just incredible. Fair play to Sten. And he will start on pole position for the race. And it's going to be a dry race. So that's going to make it interesting. That means strategy is a bit more straightforward than the F2 race. Obviously safety cars and stuff can change all that, but tops, if you know, soft, if start on the soft, it's going to be a soft, medium, medium. I tried the soft, medium, soft strategy, but I found that the mediums, I just had to run them too long and I just lost so much time. There might be some that go on soft to hards. Of course, because we started on it was wet qualifying. They might even be able to start on the mediums of top 10, if I'm not wrong in saying that. So we'll be interested to see what the strategies is. We'll have a look at the tyre choices in just a second, as the drivers come out for their formation lap. So just let me, we don't want that on. Tyres, so yeah, very interestingly, because everyone's got free range of tyre, interestingly Sten is going on to the hard tyre, so I'm assuming that's going to be a one-stop strategy. Too Late Mate Harry Collier Vision Max onto the mediums, that's a two-stop. Carcraft and the Wheel maybe kind of one-stop as well as Sten, and everyone else on medium tyres. So this is going to be a fascinating race. The wet qualifying has really spiced things up. And at a track where we've seen it's very hard to overtake, it's going to be fascinating. You know, some drivers are just going to have to send it on each other at times because it's so hard to overtake around here. But we shall wait and see what happens in the race. But do let us know who you are rooting for, what your predictions are. I think I'm going to go bold. I'm going to say that Harry Cole's been very good last couple of weeks, and he probably should have won last weekend race. I was very critical of him for a certain move. I was maybe a bit too critical after watching back his POV, but I think Harry could potentially, if he can stay out of trouble, he could maybe get a win in this race. So we'll wait and see. So that's going to be my pick. Let us know who you think. Come on, Harry Colley, up the McLaren, says SRL 5. I'm not sure whose channel that is. Is that Rose or whatnot? Or is it Yari's or something? I'm not too sure. Let us know who it is. As the drivers do re-line up on the grid here. It is Row. Carcraft has a good shout to my fellow Hammer. Carcraft as well. So it's going to be so interesting because the hard guys are going to go longer than the mediums. So obviously they're going to do one less pit stop potentially unless safety cars change that. So yeah, this is going to be fascinating. Let's see if the game will let me actually look at the fronts. Here we go. As we have 3, we have 4, we have 5 red lights. And away we go here at Hungary for round 11 here in SRL F1 as the standings all mess up right away. Fantastic. As I think it's too late, mate, who's going to go for a move straight away on Sten. He's going to be able to hold on to the move. Looks like Max has got himself a decent start as well. He's up into P4. Harry Cully's not had a great start. He's dropped down to about P5 by the looks of things. But crucially, it looks like we've got in a very clean start, which is always good to see. Once the intervals decide to fix themselves straight away, change this straight away to that, so we know what's going on. But it is too late, mate, who has took an opportunity right away to take the lead of the race off Sten. MBD Vision closely following Sten into sector 3. As we get a nice overview shot of all the cars. And Vision here won't get the RS yet, but he's got a very good run on Sten right away, and they're going to go side by side here. Going into the first corner, no they're not, because Vision's going to get past Sten, and he takes P2, and Max fancies a move now on Sten as well, and he's got it done. A fantastic move, and Sten starting on those hard tyres, just he doesn't have the grip, doesn't have the pace that the rest of the guy on the field do, and he's just dropping down the field. And oh, there's a Ferrari and it's Witcher at the back and he's gone! He's completely lost it, and Witcher becomes our first retirement of the race in only lap 2, and it brings out a virtual safety car. Oh, I'm gutted for Witcher. We only could see in the background there what happened. I don't know, I think he just lost it, maybe on the curb, or I don't know if anyone hit him or whatever. But that's a massive shame, and Witcher's race ends very, very early indeed. I'll be interested to see if anyone got any front wing damage after they got caught up in that unfortunate crash for Witcher. So all the cars have to slow down to a certain delta. If I was to say that, oh, too late, mate, nearly lost it completely. He just tried to get going too quickly, and he, on the curb, he nearly completely put it in the wall. Luckily, he saved himself, and he keeps holding the lead of this race. Goodness me, that would have been a story. It's too late, mate, he put it in the wall. And meanwhile, in the battle for P4, Harry Cully is getting close on the back of Sten. Maybe he's going to be Sten, to get past Sten like the other cars managed to previously. If I can speak, it would be nice. As we do go racing once again. As we watch that battle between Harry and Sten. Faddy is obviously very close to the McLaren as well. Of course, the virtual safety car will have brought these cars a lot closer together than they might have been if there was no VSC. Oh, we have to go completely wide to avoid going into the back of Harry Cully. And is that going to allow El Trucker? No, it's not going to allow him to get past Faddy. He gets back onto the track safely. But the drivers learning the hard way. But gotta be careful on these curbs and whatnot. Of course, that one was just to avoid going into someone. But Harry Cully, I stopped talking rubbish as he tries to go on the outside of Sten. There's a little bit of contact between the two. There was a banging of the wheels. And the door's open to go on the outside potentially. There's yellow flags in sector 1. Not sure what that's for. Sten holds on to the position for now. It's great defending, but Harry's got a decent run here. This is not a good place to overtake, to be fair. So he might have to just hold back a bit here, Harry, and try and just stay a couple of attempts towards him so we can maybe get him in sector 3. But Faddy here just waiting patiently at the back. Biding his time, knowing that this battle between Harry and Sten could help him get past these two himself, as Maverick K is the first person to get a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, which is obviously very easy to do on this track. As we get a nice overview shot of the battle between Sten, Harry, Collie, Faddy and El Trocker. And it is going to be Faddy. He's going to go for a move on Harry. He's going to have to do it the long way. He'll have to go. He might get the switch back potentially. Not quite. Harry gets on the power very early. And he's defending his position. So Faddy's going to have to go to the outside. And he might be able to hold it, you know, as we get a nice view of it here. They're side by side, they're touching wheel to wheel, and Harry just manages to hold on to the position. No love there at all. Harry not willing to give up that position at all. And oh, Faddy's got to be so careful. That curve there, that is the most deadly curve on this track. It's so easy, it draws you in so much, and without even trying to be that close, you can be, and there's nothing you can do about it. You get up spinning like I did in my race before in lap 1. But we're not here to talk about my miserable race. We're here to talk about Tier 1, who are giving us some good action in the first couple of laps. Too late, mate. Still in front of his teammate MBD Vision. He's got about a 7/10 gap to his teammate at the moment. Meanwhile, Harry Cully trying to close this gap to Sten, but not quite able to do so to make a move happen on that particular occasion. Meanwhile, Faddy and El Trocker are at it again. And Faddy's going to have to go on the outside. El Trocker's going to hold it on the inside. And they're going to go side by side again. Oh, a little bit of a tap from Faddy. And who's going to go through? El Trocker has to concede. He has to let Faddy through. And the Red Bull driver holds on to the position. Fantastic battle between those two there. So we're on lap 6 of 35 at the moment. I wouldn't expect drivers, well, especially the medium runners, to jump into about 14, 15 maybe. Maybe they can stretch it longer than that. As El Trocker is seriously close to Faddy now, might be able to, with DRS, and his DRS, he's only got a little bit of DRS to be fair. But he's going to use it all to try and get past the Red Bull driver on this occasion. They're going to go side by side. And he's going to have to go the long way. Ooh, they're side by side. The wheels are touching. Where's he going to go? Inside, outside? He's going to stay on the inside. Faddy will go on the outside. El Trocker trying to hold the position, to get the position. And El Trocker just gets to the inside line, and he is through for P6. Fantastic move from the Renault. As Faddy, ooh, getting a terrible run there. Gets himself a 3-second time penalty, and crucially loses ground on El Trocker and allows Carcraft to gain on him. As there we have yellow flags in sector 2, and is it Chopper Harris that I can see that's at the side of the track potentially? Oh, it's going very slow at the back, I should say. It might be. But no safety car needed on this occasion. Meanwhile, we'll jump back on board between the battle for P4 between Harry and Sten. Sten doing a very good job of keeping Harry at bay on those hard tyres. Sten, of course, is on a different strategy to Harry, so this is playing out really well for him at the moment. Meanwhile, we'll jump a bit further back because There's a three-way battle between Fadi Carcraft and Bob Sada at the moment. As Carcraft picks up a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting infringements. But so far it's been relatively clean driving so far. It's been very enjoyable to watch. As Carcraft here might look to use his bit of his ERS to try and get past Fadi here. Of course, Fadi on medium tyres will make it a little bit more difficult for Carcraft, but those hard tyres will be starting to come a little bit good now as they go side by side. Fadi will go very defensive into turn 1. They'll go side by side as Carcraft's not quite got the move done yet. He'll go a little bit wide there, not quite. I think Carcraft has got this move done, and Williams is up into P7. Very nice move indeed from Carcraft, that. Fantastic stuff. Meanwhile, we'll jump on board with the battle, the civil war that might break out between the Alfa Romeos. That is Too Late Mate and MBD Vision. Too Late Mate just keeping Vision at arm's length at the moment. And this would be a very, very good points for the constructors. Not that they would really need it to get another 1-2 finish. But as you can see, Vision, he's not using his ERS. He knows there's a long way to go, and then there's no point wasting it all just now on squabbling with his teammate. This one, they have got a 3-second gap to a max. So we'll leave this battle for now because it's looking like Bob Sada might be the next person. Might fancy a move on Fadi this time. I say next person, don't know why I said that. Oh, Bob Sada goes a little bit wide there. Didn't quite get a good exit, as good exit as he maybe could have done. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh there. Fadi definitely doesn't get a good exit out of that. And Bob Sada is looking like if he can keep this clean and keep this gap, he'll be able to make a move in the start-finish straight potentially, or maybe even into sector 3. Bob Sada, who of course a couple of weeks ago gave us that incredible finish with the safety car where he didn't get any penalties and got himself from about P10 I think it was to P3. But Bob Sada, he's got the RS and he is using the RS and he's gaining on Fadi and he's going, oh my word, and he's going to go onto the grass, desperate for that inside line. Could have been very nasty, but it looks like he might have it done. No, they're going to go side by side. There's a bit of contact between him and Fadi there, a little nudge wheel to wheel, but the Renault is through and now Fadi might be under pressure from learning the wheel. Fadi really struggling in that turn. Is it turn 4 or 5 or something? I'm not actually sure which turn that is because I'm an idiot. But those medium tyres they won't feel quite as good as maybe the hards do now. And the medium ones will be looking to pit next couple of laps, I think, or maybe stretch it out to lap 20. I'm not too sure. Keeps it nice and steady, letting the wheel gain time on Fadi, who had to brake, locked up quite a little bit there. And Lando Wheel just lost a bit of time though in that corner. He just went a bit too wide and he's lost a few tenths, and he's not going to use the DRS. I think he knows he's not quite going to be able to get him on this particular occasion. But we'll stay on board with them for the next turn or two. As Faddy really does lock up. He's not enjoying those mediums at all, Faddy. I'm learning the wheel, senses he can get past potentially, but he's not going to rush it. He's going to pick his time. Faddy going wide again into that turn. As well. And Faddy goes off the track completely, and Lando Wheel now senses this might be the chance to go in. Oh, and he's gone into the back of Faddy, who I don't know if I don't think he was expecting Faddy to be where he was, and let's hope Lando Wheel did not get any front wing damage from that. I don't think he did, and Faddy is now pitting off those medium tyres. So Lando Wheel will take P9 as a result of that. A couple of drivers pitting. El Choco also getting off those mediums. I'm assuming, well, it's going to have to be hard tyres, isn't it? I don't know why, but I completely blanked that these drivers got to use two different tyre compounds, so they can't just go into mediums again. But ignoring my stupidity again, Harry Cully still trying to get close enough to Sten to make a move, but I think Harry will be thinking about pitting soon as well. As he runs wide there. The medium tyres are struggling now. There's a couple of drivers we've seen now run wide and struggling for a grip. And Hardy will stay out for now. And meanwhile, the battle for first, Vision still about 7 tenths behind Too Late Mate. He doesn't seem like he's going to push his teammate too much at the moment. Don't know if there's a bit of team orders going on there, or if he's just waiting to buy this time. Maybe later on in the Grand Prix he'll go for a move. Could also be they just can't get close enough to Too Late Mate. But he's got a lot of ERS saved up, as does his teammate, to be fair. But after the first couple of pit stops, El Chocker, Mavs UK and Faddy off onto the hard tyres now. I'm assuming we're going to see a few more pit stops very shortly. Be interesting to see if any of who goes in first between Too Late Mate and MBD Vision. I'm assuming Too Late Mate will get priority because he's out in front. If that's how they work things. Undercut is so powerful around here. Too Late Mate not opting to pit yet. Harry Cully opting to stay out as well. Meanwhile, learning the wheel. Closing the gap to Bob Sadder now, and he is within DRS of the Renault driver. You can see he's got DRS, but he's not using DRS just yet. A lot of drivers playing the waiting game, the long game at the moment. Not in a hurry to do overtakes. As El Chocker sets the fast lap of the race of a 1:18.079 on those new hard tyres. El Chocker showing a bit of his pace then, as Faddy beats that time 1:17.9. But Bob Sadder, is he feeling the strain of those medium tyres now? As Lando Wheel gets a little bit closer, and a little moment there though, which will allow Bob Sadder to get away by another 10th or 2. So interestingly, it's going to be Vision who pits first out of the Alfa Romeos. He's going to try the undercut on his teammate potentially, and he'll jump onto those hard tyres to do the one stop. And meanwhile, the pit window is open now apparently. I wouldn't suspect Lernville would go in just yet though. Probably do a couple more laps before jumping onto the mediums, at least. So, too late, mate. And Max still on those medium tyres from the start, not pitted yet. One of them will pit the next lap. But this is a crucial part of the race. There's not been any, there's only been one virtual safety car that was at the start. Doesn't look like there's going to be any others so at the moment. So getting picking the right time to pit is very crucial for your race. As behind the wheel, keeping it nice and steady, not losing the car too much. I'm not afraid just to stay in behind Bob Sadder at the moment, knowing there are different strategies. And now Bob Sadder does pit, and he will set the wheel loose to get after, to try and get a bit of a gap to his rivals as he as Vision comes out into P4. So he is the effective race leader of the race at the moment. And so our pole sitter at Sten takes the lead of the race for the first time since the start. Of course he hasn't pitted yet. But Vision on those fresher, harder tyres, you can see the difference between his and learning the wheels. Learning the wheel, trying to keep it on the track. Vision wants past very quickly here. You can see he's not in the mood to wait around. And knowing that his teammate is literally just behind him after those pit stops now, that's why he's in such a hurry to get past Learning to be able to put a car in between them two, as there's a yellow flag in sector 2. I'm not sure who that's for, but there's no need for any safety cars. And Vision now will use his DRS line wheel trying to break the toe, but it's not going to be able to defend that, and it's too late. Making able to get through as well. I believe that Learning wheel gets out the way, no, he can't defend, and the two Alfa Romeos are through. So Learning will just be hoping that he can just stay within DRS of the Alphas and help and let them tow him along, maybe save some time, maybe save some ERS potentially, and keep him away from Max, who of course on those fresh hard tyres is after him. As Jima Winnie becomes our second retirement of the session, he's into the pits. As Max has had a little moment on the curb there, keeps it out the wall, thank goodness. That could have been nasty, but good to see, good thing Max managed to keep it out of the barriers. Battle for P9 going on at the moment. Faddy on the hard tyres for 4 laps, but I just got onto his hard tyres. So, hard tyres work differently. You kind of actually want relatively used hard tyres because you get better grip and a bit more pace than completely new fresh ones. So Bob Sider might be a bit of a sitting duck here as Faddy gets closer and closer to him. It's all about defending for the Renault driver. As interestingly, Carcraft now gets onto so he's done his hard tyre stint and he's now on the faster medium tyre compound, and he's going to be very fast on the track now. He's the only one who is on medium tyres. Of course, Sten and Lernerville will be joining him, I am assuming, in a lap or two whenever they're going to pit. But Carcraft, watch out for him, because he's a fast driver and he can definitely make up the time difference ahead, but he does have penalties, which is a bit of a nightmare. So it's Too Late Mate's turn at the moment to stay in behind his teammates at the moment. And say he's got a load of VRS that you can see on his wheel, but not going to use it just now. So it's going to be a very exciting battle for first place between these two at the end, potentially, which we'll look forward to watching later on. Meanwhile, battle that is going on at the moment is Faddy. He's trying to get on the back of Bob Sada. Gets DRS, but not close enough to the Renault to make a move happen. And Bob Sada will hold on to the position for now. Meanwhile, Too Late Mate is half the gap now to his teammate. As Faddy, I think something's happened to him, he was very close to Bob Sada, and then all of a sudden Magic K's now got past the Red Bull driver. Be interesting to see what Too Late Mate does here. Again, not going to use the ZRS. As Sten decides to pit now. He's just coming out the pits now. And Max in that undercut has worked for Max. He's got ahead of Sten on track, but of course Sten's on medium tyres, so he's going to be very fast, just like Carcraft. Speaking of Carcraft, he's at the moment trying to get past the Renault of El Trocker, my fellow Scottish companion. So if we have a look at Lernerville, still hasn't pitted yet, which is incredible. It's been an incredible stint from him on those hard tyres. But he's going to drop quite a few places when he does pit. I'm trying to think where he's going to potentially... He probably will... will he come out in front of Bob Sada? I'm not too sure. As he does opt to pit now, which will put Max onto the podium and put him onto the back of the Alfa Romeos, so he can get after them if he can. But Carcraft is gaining on the Renault, and on those medium tyres, El Trocker's really going to struggle to hold on. He's going to try and defend and go side by side, but it's a fantastic move from Carcraft as he goes around the outside, gets the inside line here, and he has the move done, and he's up into P6 and can get after Sten, who's also on medium tyres. Fantastic driving from those two. Meanwhile, Faddy still trying to get past Bob Sada for P8. What I was going to do quickly is have a look at the penalty situation. So, Sten, Carcraft, El Trocker, Faddy all on 3 seconds. Crucially, Mavs UK is on 9 seconds. Penna and Lernerville on 6, and Chobber Harris on 3. So, those penalties will make a difference as to where they all finish. In the driver standings at the end of the race. Oh, Faddy! Oh, I was worried he was going into the back of Bob Sada there, but he was absolutely fine. And Faddy's going to have to be careful now, because as you can see, Mavs UK and Penna are battling is allowing those two to catch up and get within DRS of him. as Sten is having a battle with Harry. Here they go side by side here, but Harry is through. But Sten's going to try and get him again, and that could have been very nasty. But Harry, Sten has to let Harry through, and Harry takes P4 for now. That could have been nasty. And meanwhile, Faddy in the same place as that battle we've just seen. Can't make a move happen, and he's still behind Bob Sadder, who must be really frustrating Faddy now. But very good defending from Bob Sadder to hold on. The Bobby Dazzler showing his defensive drive and meanwhile, Too Late Mate still in behind Vision at the moment. There's 3 of us in previous races of penalties, me and 2 others. I'm assuming you're talking about tier 4, lad. Meanwhile, El Trucker has got past Sten, and he's up to P6. And Bob Sadder is still holding off Faddy by looks of things. We'll jump back on board with that battle, actually. Of course, Bob Sadder without penalties, so Faddy really needs to get past, but he's been trying for so long. He must be thinking, is he ever going to get past him? And Faddy here, ooh, again, very close to Bob Sadder into that corner. Ooh, a bit of a lost of traction there potentially. Sten is now jumping into the pit again. I wonder if something's happened to him. That's a nightmare for Sten, our original pole sitter. He jumps into the pits, which puts Bob Sadder now into P7. So Faddy is now effectively trying to get Bob Sadder for P7. Meanwhile, battle for P1, not much change. Vision still in front of his teammate. And with 10 laps to go, you wonder now is the time to take team orders out the window and for Too Late Mate to try and win this race. Meanwhile, we just can't take our eyes off this battle for P7 between Faddy and Bob Sadder. They've both just been so close, been so tight. Faddy's had to show incredible patience so far. Meanwhile, up ahead, Carcraft gaining on Harry, but not close enough to make a move happen on that occasion. But Faddy's going to get the RS, but not a lot of the RS to play with. But he is gaining. But he's not gaining fast enough, I don't think. And he'll have to stay in behind him again. Unless he can get the RS again here. Maybe could he try and go side by side with him into turn 2? Not quite again. Bob Sadder just very good defending. And Faddy just showing him. I've been so impressed with Faddy here. Oh, and Bob Sadder's lost it by himself. And not only has he cost his race, and Faddy's gone into the back of him because there's nowhere he could go. And that curve claims another victim this week, another 2 victims. And poor Faddy just could not. It wasn't Bob Sadder's fault. It's so unfortunate. You just get drawn into that curve so much, and there's nothing Faddy can do. His front wing's gone. He'll have to pit again. And that's a shame for those two. Meanwhile, Harcraft is in the arrest of Harry Cully. And he's going to have, well, Harry's going to make him go the long way here as they go side by side. But Carcraft, another fantastic move, just like he did on El Troca. And he's through to P4. And now he's going to get after Max, who's about 3.5 seconds up the road. Of course, Carcraft has a 3-second penalty. So he might want to first way get away from Harry Cully to preserve P4. But once again, we watch Too Late Mate and Vision out in front. To be fair, it's been very good work from these two, because instead of squabbling, they've just helped out each other. And there's an 8-second gap between him and Max, but that's going to change now as there's a virtual safety car out and Faddy has retired from this race. And I wonder if that's got to do with the incident between him and Bob Saturday. He was just a passenger for. And it's our second VSC of the race. And that's a shame for Faddy, who's given us some good battles today. Battle on El Troca earlier on in the race, and then with Bob Sada. It's a real shame to go out like that, but it's unfortunately it's what happens, I'm afraid. No blame can be put on Bob Sada there, in my opinion. As El Troca has got himself a drive-through penalty for speeding on the virtual safety car. That's a massive shame for him, who's just pitted onto the softs as well. What a nightmare for him. I don't think anyone else got a drive-through, no. But with 6 or 7 laps to go, on lap 29 we're just about to go on to... Too Late Mate has got full ERS, and now we can see Too Late Mate make his move a little bit. First time we've seen him touch that ERS, he's just testing the waters a little bit, just using a little bit of it. I think he wants to be a bit closer before he makes, before he burns more of it. But we'll jump on board with the battle for P6 between Mavs UK and Learning the Wheel, and the Racing Point is gaining. He's on better tyres, on those mediums. He's going to go to the inside of the Alpha Tauri, and he's going to make that move stick, and Learning the Wheel is up into P6. A very nice move from him indeed. Excuse me folks, just having a wee drink quickly. So he is a bit closer this time to his teammate Too Late Mate. And there you go. He uses a bit of his ERS, but Vision, because he's got so much himself, he really does have to be closer. As El Troca gets past Chopper Harris for P9. But he hasn't served his drive-through yet. Meanwhile, on the start-finish straight, Mavs UK still trying to get maybe trying to gain the position back on Learning the Wheel, and he is gaining, but he's not going to gain anywhere near enough to make a move happen there. But we'll stay on board with them for just another second or two. As Learning the Wheel has a bit of a lock up there. Mavs UK got a much better run through there. But Learning the Wheel on those medium tyres should be able to pull out a bit of a gap to Mavs. Meanwhile, He's gained a little bit more this time, Too Late Mate. And he's gaining. And every lap or so, he gets a little bit closer to his teammate. They're both out of sight of Max, so this is, as much as they'll want to have a good battle for the win, they also wouldn't want to compromise this brilliant 1-2 finish they've got going here. As Max gets himself a 3-second penalty, so he's not in danger of well, he's not in danger of losing any position because Carcraft in P4 also has a 3-second time penalty. So Carcraft would have to catch him on track to take that final podium position. But so impressive driving from both of these. None of them have given the other a sniff. No real mistakes either from any of these two that I can recall. And Too Late Mate is gaining, but again, Vision has enough to defend. For now. As we're on lap 32. Oh, and so they're having to correct the steering a little bit there, and that's allowed the gap to just increase a little bit between these two. It's so important for either of these not to pick up a penalty now, as they would be effectively handing the race win to their opposition. And here, Too Late Mate, he'll get the RS again, and he'll use a little bit more ERS just to try and make up the time that he lost after the correction in the previous lap. But we'll leave that battle for now because El Trucker is all over the back of his teammate here, and of course on the soft tyres. You would imagine he's going to get this move done relatively easily on the start-finish straight. As Bobside trying to break to the toe of his teammate, but it's no dice, and they'll go side by side going into turn 1, but El Chocker is through for P8. We'll jump back on board with the battle for the race win. And if Too Late Mate is going to make a move happen, he needs to do it soon, as we're about to reach this, to go on to the second to last lap now. He really needs to start making moves on Vision. Harry Colley, he would get Carcraft because of the penalties. He's not close enough to get Max. But Vision going a bit wider than Too Late Mate once again here. and he is a little bit closer, and then we're going on to the final lap now, and too late mate, he's just got to go for it. He's got to get himself close enough to either make a move happen here or be able to go for a move into the lap. He's gained a lot of time there, he's burnt a lot of his ERS. He's not got a lot to defend with now on a track which is very hard to overtake. Has too late mate left this a little too late? We'll wait. No pun intended there. We'll wait and see. It's going to be a very exciting final lap here. The amount of sweat these two must be dripping, I don't even want to think about. But his final overtaking opportunity might come into either this corner or the next one. If he can get close enough, he might be able to go on to the outside. But Vision looking like he might be able to hold on. It's too late, mate. He's gonna come round the final corner. We'll get a nice overview shot, and Vision is going to hold on, I think, to win the race. Incredible stuff from Vision. Too late, mate. Takes seconds. Look, Max is gonna come home to take P3. Harry Cullen takes P4, Carcraft P5. Landville coming around the final corner. Of course, penalties will come into fruition now. He's not going to lose out to Mavs because he's got way more penalties. El Choco comes across the line. Is he going to get a place through the penalty system? He is. El Choco's that couple of position changes there. Bob Sad and El Choco take P7, P8, Stem P9, Mavs P10, Chopper Harris P11. Federico is going to take P12 and Penna P13. But what a drive from both of these guys. Absolutely incredible stuff. The consistency shown was fantastic. I will let you know who my driver of the day is in just a few moments after I have a look at the final driver standings. The game has given driver of the day to Bob Sada, who did a phenomenal job holding off Faddy until unfortunately he span out, but he recovered well to get was it P7 or P8? I can't remember which Renault it was that took P7. So good recovery from him there. Max done really well as well, got off to a great start off the line and ended up taking P3 relatively comfortably. He was in a race of his own really, was never in danger of losing that position, but he was never really able to keep up with the two Alfa Romeos either. But yeah, that is your final driver standings. In terms of my driver of the day, it's going to be between Too Late Mate and Max. I think Max did a fantastic job, but I'm going to have to, as well, Bob Side did really well from P16 to P7, but I'm going to have to give it to Too Late Mate. I think the two Alfa Romeos were on another level. Either one of them could have won it. So I'm going to give the second Alfa Romeo, that was Too Late Mate, as my driver of the day. So thank you very much guys for joining us this weekend. It's been a fantastic weekend of racing here at the Hungary Ring. We will be driving at Austria next weekend, I believe. So that will start on Saturday with GP2. So join Row for that at 5 o'clock, and then F4 will start at 3 o'clock, followed by the F2, F3 races at 5 o'clock, where F2 you'll have Yari back rather than me, and join myself for F1, same time at 7 o'clock next week. But until then guys, have a phenomenal week, stay safe, take care all, and I will catch you all later on. Ta-ra.